thing though is what we do with NX is we also reference it for TypeScript itself with TypeScript product references. And so if you go down here in the tsconfig JSON, as an example, you will notice that, for instance, this path here has been added when we generate the package. And so with this, basically, we tell TypeScript, look, here are the packages and the projects in this npm monorepo that you should process. And this is basically giving TypeScript almost like a second tree of how the workspace structure looks like, so that it can be more efficient in processing these. Now, you don't have to go and update these by hand because that would be like an overkill, like no one would do it, but we do it for you. And so basically, if I run, for instance, here, npx nx build React app, you will see that something that kicks in, which is called a sync generator. We automatically run this generator that checks the workspace structure, uses the tree, the project graph that NX has, and syncs that with the TypeScript one. And so here specifically it says like it is out of date. Do you want to run the sync? And you're like, yes. And what will happen is if we go back up here to our React application, is that down here you will see that since we reference from the React app this my TSLib, we are going to link to the corresponding TypeScript config. And it is purely for TypeScript, such that TypeScript can effectively precompile the types for these libraries and do the TypeScript compilation basically. Sync, and you're like, yes. And what will happen is if we go back up here to our React application, is that down here you will see that since we reference from the React app this my TSLib, we are going to link to the corresponding TypeScript config. And it is purely for TypeScript, such that TypeScript can effectively precompile the types for these libraries and do the TypeScript compilation basically.